Good morning. It is 9:01 a.m. and at the point that I am on the space-time continuum, it is September 22nd, 2022. Your location in the space-time continuum is sometime after that. Should be in 2022. Could be in September, I don't know. But it should be 9:01 a.m. And this is Windows Daily numbers something or other, because I don't know when I'm going to publish this, but this is a video about a couple of evildoer emails that a client of mine received this morning. And I'm going to show some things about it. I'm going to be blurring some areas, so I have to pause the recording, and I couldn't possibly do this live. So I have this first screen set up to show give you a little bit of orientation about this. These two emails on the left side that are blurred out is this one and this one, where the bad evildoer criminal origination emails. This one here came in at 5:28 a.m. this morning, and this one here came in at 8 a.m. this morning. The subject line on this one was ACHEFT remittance returned. And this is going to a person who has spending decisions, makes spending decisions in their office. So it's totally appropriate that he would get an email thus titled. Well, I guess you can see the date and time over here. And where it says you forwarded this message, that was me forwarding it from his account to my account so that I could have that message. But I'm showing it to you actually on his Outlook on the web. This PD over here was our first clue that this is a bad sender. Now, I'm not sure that my client realized that this was the first clue, but this PD is indicating the initials of the username for the sender of the email. And then right in this area here, it'll show the person right under the arrow. It keeps changing to these different arrows. But it's supposed to show the first and last name of the sender, right? But what it actually shows, I'm displaying the letter P there. That is the first letter of my client's domain name. And then it has the rest of their domain name, .com. You can see that. And then the last name of the sender is docs, D-O-C-S. This has been a very, very common thing on the evil email messages that I've seen people getting. I'm still struggling for the right word to use that. I don't want to use the words that people have preconceived notions of what they are. I don't want to call it a phishing email or a scam email. So it's an evildoer email. On the to line that I have blurred out, it shows my client's name, his actual human speaking name. Human speaking? Whatever. And then down here shows there's an attachment, return the receipt 0233.htm. HTM is a web document. All right, so he knows not to click on things that he's not expecting, so he didn't click on it. He sent me a email inquiring about these emails, and I've already deleted these emails from his email account, and I let him know that they were bad and good for him to not click on them. But I'm going to show you a little bit more about these emails. So now I'm going to pause the recording and move on to the next thing I'm going to show you. Here's the second one. This one was 8 a.m. this morning. It has my client's domain name up here, not a .com, but they've just taken the left side of the period, put that up here, VM, extension X9838. They're trying to pass this off as a voicemail that's been captured from his phone extension. They used to use that in their phone system where each person would have their own personal voicemail. They still have that, but what they used to do is they would have that sent to them by email. And then we stopped doing that. They just pick up their messages through the phone, the handset phone. This is making me think that the criminals behind the emails that come to this client of mine are targeting him because they know that he is a senior person in the organization. The other people on his staff, they don't get these kinds of emails, at least not nearly the frequency that this person does. So I think the criminals behind this have actually had some level of access at some point to information about how their system operates, that they have his email address and are aware of things that he might fall for. So this says up here, missed call notification, and it's got his name here. Here again is that PN designation that is using the P from their company domain name, and apparently the N from notification, or I think it's actually the N from that. No, the first email we looked at was PD, not PN. So it must be taking the word notification as the last name, and I think it's taking missed call as a middle name. Yeah, that's how it's coming up with that letter. So that's got to be an easy red flag to train people for when it has first name and last name that is just not possibly the sender's first name and last name. The sender can't actually be the company name of my client, except that it might be believable that it's coming from their automated voicemail system. Maybe. And then here, play now. So it's got a play button, and it's got a download arrow here, or a menu arrow here. It is a download that I'll show a little bit later on. So start reply with, what is the message? This is just standard replying to the email stuff. Then hello, it's got my client's name. You have a new message, and it gives an audio ID number. It looks like a phone number that's totally not even similar to my client's phone numbers at all. Completely different area code. So I don't know if that is a valid phone number somewhere. 80 seconds long, the date, and it has my client's domain name again. So it's easy to see how somebody could fall for these. Kudos to my client for not falling for these. I downloaded the two attachments. This is the attachment from the first one, returned-receipt 0233.htm. So that's a web document. It would open into Microsoft Edge if I were to just double click on it and open it. I'm not going to do that. This one is also a web document, HTML. And look at the file name. It says play _ now, and it's got the 3-dot symbol and a play button and the 3-dot symbol. Then my client's name _ 3 p.m. So that's actually the file name. That's not a graphic for clicking on a play button. It's the actual file name. I'm going to pause the recording again. I tried to forward these messages to my own email account so that I could have them and be able to use them for this video or other purposes. One of them came through, the one that had that claimed to have the voice message, but this other one, this is the one that had the HTML extension instead of HTML. And when I tried to send it to me, it says your message was, he got a rejection notice back to his email account. Your message wasn't delivered because the recipient, recipient's email provider, rejected it. Oh, it feels so rejected. Down here, remote server returned, and there's an error number. This message was blocked because its content presents a potential security issue. Please visit such and such, and it gives a URL here to see why it was rejected. And I went and looked at that, and basically it tells about the different file extensions that'll get rejected. Inside of that downloaded object, there is a file extension that is reason for it to be rejected. So the message there is that Google email accounts will automatically block this particular threat. Pause again. Here's that website that Google was referring us to about what they blocked. So here's showing file types blocked in Gmail, and it gives these extensions that are blocked. Certain types of files, including their compressed form like GZ and BZ2, would be blocked, but I see that that's not even shown down here. So I don't think this list is complete. And I think the actual extension that is contained within that is a PHP. And I think they would likely block those as well. All right. Here I've done a web search for Notepad++ for Windows 10. And what I did is I downloaded Notepad++ because with that I can open the HTML file and the HTML file and see what they contain. That's a safe way for me to examine and figure out what's going on. So we're going to do that. I downloaded the portable version when I went to the website, downloaded the portable version, and then extracted it. So here I'm just launching it, Notepad++. You can actually open these files into regular Notepad, and I actually did that before going to Notepad++ because there was just too much in there for me to try to figure out what it was saying. So I got this Notepad++, and here you can see returned receipt 0233. That's what I have on this tab. This other tab that we're not seeing right now is the one that claimed to be a voice message for a missed call. And I can see in here there's this URL here, https://isss.net. That's red flags. WP-contents. Now that's probably WordPress WP, what that's referring to. And then data n.php. PHP is one of the documents used on a website, and I think particularly WordPress, but I think other websites use PHP too. So then I take a copy. I copy this with selecting it and then Control-C to copy that URL, and I want to check to see if that is safe. Little aside here, this is kind of funny. I looked at, what is PHP? Hypertext Preprocessor. Rasmus Lerdorf unleashed the first version of PHP way back in 1994. PHP is a recursive acronym. What? Recursive acronym? Catch this. Alexa, what is a recursive acronym?
According to Wikipedia, a recursive acronym is an acronym that refers to itself and appears most frequently in computer programming. The term was first used in print in 1970.
Stop. A recursive acronym is an acronym that refers to itself. What? I don't know. I'm moving on past that. Well, I guess I should say PHP is a server-side scripting language that is embedded in HTML. Okay, there we go. Yeah. A language embedded in HTML. HTML is a web document. You know, when you're looking at a web page, that is HTML that presents that to you. So PHP is a scripting language inside there. So if we click on that link, that's going to take us to something that is a program. It's going to do something, could do something hazardous to your computer. What we've been looking at up to this point was a video recording that I did, some screens that I went through. That video is over now. So now I've gone back to a website that I looked up, or well, here I'm doing a Microsoft Bing search for, is this link safe, just to take one of these that can check on a link. And I went down to one that I recognize. Let's see, Veritas, email Veritas. And I brought that up on this tab over here and pasted that URL right into this field here. Now I don't have that pasted in there right now, but this is the result. It tells me this site is unsafe. Here you'll remember this was the URL that I spelled out, isss.net, WP-contents. I said that that's likely WordPress related, and data n.php. So then the final URL, meaning they found that it did not translate to something else. Well, it did translate to HTTPS. And then on this details tab, we can see more information about it and trying to see what if it tells us anything more about what it does. And it's not telling us, but it is telling us the first submission was the date and time that I submitted it. So this was the first submission they received, yet they were able to identify that it is unsafe. Now I can report it as legitimate if I choose to. That doesn't mean they're going to accept my word for it. That's just going to basically vote for it. They are saying it's unsafe, but we don't have any detail about why they evaluated it as being unsafe. I'm back into the video again because I realized that I didn't show you what the Play Now tab showed. It doesn't reveal any file name, nothing else that I can check further on. So I can't tell from this what is actually the contents of it. Now, I am curious, interested, if I were to set up a VM machine and a VPN to actually try playing that and see what happens. VM machine, for those who don't know, is a virtual machine. So that's a pretend computer within my computer. It shields my actual computer from any damaging effects that could occur from that. And I'd want to use the VPN because the potential exists that when I click on that item, that it might report my IP address to the criminals. So I just want to give myself that extra layer of protection, but I don't have those two set up. So I feel that I'm satisfied at this point, way more than satisfied. I did not need to go through any of this. This is just the Doug curiosity thing happening to see what can I find out about this. So the bottom line takeaway message of this is just, once again, putting it out to my audience. There's a lot of very deceptive emails out there, and the criminals trying to, in this case, it looks like target this specific client. I don't think it's a high-level hacker or criminal that's going after them, and it could be on a mass scale level somehow, but it looks to me like they know enough about this office to know that a recorded voicemails coming to you by email could be an expected thing and an okay thing to click on. And back in this company's past, that was a routine thing. I don't quite remember why we shut that down. Could have been related to the possibilities of criminals trying to use that as a target vector. I don't know. Anyway, I hope this has been useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.